Hello, friends of the interesting regional chat, what the fuck, and welcome to a guide on Captura on how to do silhouette art and use gradient backgrounds using text codes. Now, I will also show you on how to remove weapons so that you can have your basic Warframe stance like here in the Orbiter, because usually you can't ignore that. Usually you can't have no weapons equipped, there will always be one equipped forcibly. You might want to invest in the color key scene for this, because the color key scene can sometimes make your life a little bit easier with the gradient background and silhouette art thingy. You can get this scene from several Samaris for the very low cost of just 100k standing. So yeah, you will be grinding this for a bit. Now before we start with the Captura, I will show for those that do not know how to do it, how you can remove your weapons. You will need a gear item, a scanner to be exact. You can buy one from several and Samaris or just use the normal codex scanners. Reason why you can't unequip all your weapons. You will be always forced to have one weapon equipped at all times. So if you would now equip a melee weapon, then we can unequip our primary, but now we can't unequip our melee weapon. So yeah. However, if you use a gear item, the scanner, your Warframe will put all weapons he is carrying away by holding the scanner, and it will not actually show the Warframe holding a scanner. So that's how you make a shot without having any weapons out. Now here we are in our capture scene. You don't have to use the color scene, the green screen scene. You can basically use any capture scene. However, this can make things easier for you. We will deactivate depth of field for gradient and silhouette art shots. You can change the background color of the room. In order to do gradient backgrounds, you will need to use a text code. You can use this in any capture. You just need to create new text options. You can't see what I'm typing because I'm on console. I will show you with editing what I'm typing. So the text codes are basically just anything written in all capitals between those two symbols, and there are multiple things in the game's database that you can create with that. Aside from gradient backgrounds, you can also create different symbols that are in the game's files. For example, for whatever reason, the Discord symbol, and you can customize the colors over here. So yeah, if you would type Discord in all caps between the little triangle thingies, this would be what you would get. This also works with other stuff in the game files, like, let's say, the infested. If you would type all infested in all caps, then we would get the infested symbol. But that's all good to know. How do you now do gradient backgrounds and silhouette art? Well, you type in all caps Omega, and that will get you this square. And this square is used for both gradient backgrounds. As you can see here, you just mix the colors, and there you now have a gradient background square. And silhouette art. How you can do silhouette art we will go over in a second. Now here are some tips what to do with gradient backgrounds. You can use up to 5 text codes at the same time. Note those have to be not the same color. So if you want to put a symbol in front of this for your capture, it can be a completely different color if that's what you want. So if you would now use this FUV, then we would have to add a couple more omegas. We can use field of view so that we do not necessarily need to add more text codes, or maybe only need to add a single more text code. You can also, the limit for field of view is 20, the smallest. However, if you click on the number, you can actually go below 20. We are now at 2. Now this bugs Captura out a little, so you're sometimes a little bit limited with this, like what the fuck is going on right now. So yeah, Captura does not like it if we do something like that, but yeah, now we have basically the frame in the image without having to add additional backgrounds. Now the reason why I recommend the color coded Captura scene for doing gradient backgrounds is simple. Let's say we are either out of text code or we don't really want to add another text code because they can be sometimes a little bit weird in terms of placing them. So we can use the color code change room color feature to just change the color of the entire room to fit with our gradient background. Now, what's kinda sad about this is sometimes the room, it displays the color differently than the text. So it can sometimes be very difficult or impossible to find a perfect matching color for your background. So what generally works are darker colors. So if you will make a mixture of red and black, that would be very easy to do because yeah, we can just color the room black and now it perfectly fits with each other. So yeah, you have to experiment around with that to find what you like, what works best for you. But again, you do not necessarily need this Captura scene. You can do it on any Captura. It's just sometimes a little bit easier doing it on here because of that change room color feature. Now, how to do silhouette art? If you go behind our big Omega screen, you can see it's invisible. If you take a Captura behind with a character behind it, Omega screen, it will show a silhouette. Now, right now it doesn't show a silhouette. Reason why is because you have to apply a filter. The filter can be pretty much anything. You can experiment around with it. Here, filters. Let's go. Don't know. Yeah, let's go with that. And the filter depth, you basically enable the silhouette showing up in the background. The filter opacity, you can just play around with those settings, filter depth and opacity. Now, if you play with the settings a little bit more, you can lower the filter depth to a very low setting. You get kinda this weird 3D sculpture-y thingy. Yeah, some people have created some interesting stuff with it. I have not experienced it that much on it, but yeah. It is an option, it is something you can do with the silhouette art. You can do it like whatever this abomination is. And yeah, you can obviously always change the colors of the text so that you can customize your silhouette art. And that's pretty much how you do both gradient backgrounds and silhouette art, just using the Omega text code. I'm gonna link a list of all the different text codes this game has to offer in the description so that you can see for yourself what symbols you can add for your captures. And a little fun fact about these text codes, you can actually use them in loadout names for both the normal loadouts in your arsenal and your mod loadouts on both frames and weapons. You can actually use the text codes there as well. And for example, if you have a build for Warframe that is based on energy, you could type in the text code for energy, and that would then display energy ball just being there, being even a little bit animated, which is pretty cool. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see us in the next video. Have a nice day.